Salute, salute, salute. The streets are buzzing. Hope everybody is well. How's everybody feeling after this? The New York Knicks went down into a classic MSG barn burner to the Memphis Grizzlies. The second loss of the season to Memphis, 123 to 127. We're going to chop it up. Salute to the chat. Salute to Knicks Nation. Salute Replay Gang. Well, plenty to talk about this Sunday evening. Hope everybody's doing well out here on the streets. And man, what a game today at MSG. Tough loss. Very, very tough loss the Knicks took. The Knicks fought hard in this one. They fought hard. The effort was there. The energy was there. Most of the game. We'll shout out some of the players that deserve their flowers. But ultimately, the Memphis Grizzlies are a great team. And shout out to them because Morant went off down the stretch. Jalen Brunson went off down the stretch as well. He put this team on his back once again. Had two incredible looks to win the game. Fatigue and great defense made it tough, and the shot didn't fall. But got to give shout out to Jalen Brunson because, without him, we don't even have a chance to win this game. He was going off down the stretch. He was going back and forth, ladies and gentlemen, and he deserves the flowers, tonight. Some ticky-tack calls down the stretch made it tough as well. RJ Barrett had a very decent performance, but defensively is where we struggled. Defensively, you can't win these barn burners if you can't get stops, and it was tough all night long. That fourth quarter, was very, very exciting. It was thrilling, and that's why it hurts, not to be able to pull this one out, But salute David, salute chat, Knicks Nation out here coming to you from the road as well. Out here, team no sleep. Out here ready to talk Knicks. And we'll look at the road ahead like we always do. We'll give out our grades for today. And like I said, we'll shout people out. Get your thoughts on the chat moving ahead now. And we'll look at the Knicks draft positioning as well as that continues to fluctuate. With the Knicks having the Dallas selection now. Knicks' own selection is in the 9th spot right now. And of course, the Knicks go 2 games below 500. I think that must be the lowest in terms of the standings that the Knicks have been all season long. Now, very, very rational post-game today because this game was, you got to consider the opponent first and foremost. Really, really wanted to win this one. Give Memphis their revenge and just dues from opening night. But man, it was tough. It was tough, and you can't get stops out here as well. Cam Reddish came in. There were some injuries to talk about. The Knicks gave max effort, I could see, but the shortcomings of the roster, we've got to be realistic. It just ain't where it needs to be to beat great teams like Memphis at the moment. And a one-man wrecking ball in Morant. Again, you got to give him his dues. He's an all-star, but he was going back and forth with potentially our own all-star, Jalen Brunson, down the stretch as well. And like I said, ultimately, I'm okay with this loss because we got 2 incredible looks to tie it and win the game. And you can't really ask for anything better than that. We'll chop up the rest of the game. But in terms of the Knicks losing this game, we've seen over the years how many poor looks the Knicks have had to finish games out. And tonight was great looks. I think you could just contribute, Brunson just being gassed, tired. And Brandon Clark played some solid D as well. He made it tough. But what a warrior Jalen Brunson is. A throwback. He could play in any era, 80s, 90s, 2000s to this era as well. Was questionable coming into the game. Jalen Brunson gave it his all. You could tell he was questionable coming in with the quad. And to put in a performance like that, double-double, almost a triple-double, um, this guy, no doubt in my mind, can be the number 2 option on a winning team. Um, and I've said this previously, I think he's still growing as a player. I don't think Jalen Brunson has completely hit his ceiling yet. He's pretty close. I don't think he's going to go to some all-time crazy level, but I still think he could go to another gear. Ladies and gentlemen, salute to the best chat in the biz. How are we doing? Dirty Dancer, salute. We need Dallas just to be a tiny bit better. Yep. Great point. We'll talk about that. I'm not too worried about Dallas at the moment because I think they'll still win some games. But I really do feel like we're going to get a pick probably between 11 to 15 range. Buzzer, salute. Knicks family out here. Represent out here, Knicks Nation. Where you coming from? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming from the road. Melbourne, Australia. Salute. Happy Sunday evening to everyone out there. Early Monday morning. Salute, Johnny Davis. We're just a player short to win these kinds of games. Yep, definitely. We know the shortcomings of this roster, but Knicks fans, Knicks Nation, Knicks Streets, we could get behind a team like tonight's performance that gives it their effort, gives it their all. Haymakers thrown, in the words of Mike Breen tonight. It was an MSG classic. Barn burner. Salute. Warriors going back and forth as well. You hate when the referees get involved in these kind of games. Challenge calls. The Knicks won a late challenge, which really, really helped. Mitchell Robinson protecting the rim. Couple of unfortunate ones, touching Ja Morant. I mean, I don't know what you can do when Ja Morant charges right into the big man. All the big man can really do is go vertical. Maybe stuck his hand out a little bit. But the rest is history for that. Not feeling too down after this loss. Come what may, let's see what happens, moving forward. When we chop up the road ahead for this team that we love with this situation. We're 2 games below 500 for this season. There was talk James Dolan was in the building, not looking too happy. Which, you could tell they really want to win these games. But this ain't the game to be too fed up, in my opinion. The other night was definitely the loss. JJ, salute, fam. Coming to you from Brooklyn, salute. Tough loss, but good news is we have the 9th worst record now. 1 game from 6th worst record. We just might end up with that Scoot Wembanyama sweepstakes. Yep. Let's monitor that. That's a little bit more on the optimistic side, fam. I think I hope we could end up with a great pick. But Jalen Brunson's going to help us win a lot of games. But then again, you do look at the East. Look how strong it is right now. You have to think Brooklyn's going to come up. The Heat are coming up as well. Philly's going to come back up. And, the Knicks are just we're facing an uphill battle right now. I'm also thinking this too, fam, as well. The Dallas situation's absolutely, it's going to be fascinating because they're basically like the West version of us. They're stuck in the middle. They've got a great player like Luka, awful supporting cast. They're in a tough West. What do they do? Do they realize that this just ain't the year and they sit Luka out after the 40 game mark? That's going to be really interesting as well, because they know that's their only prayer at getting that top 10 pick. Yep. It would be terrible for the Knicks too, right? It'd be revisiting the KP trade. Yep. Dirty says if Brunson can shoot off the dribble threes, then he can be a surefire all-star. 100%, fam. Spitting facts with that. Yep. And when I mentioned before, Brunson going to another level, that's the kind of level I'm talking about. Yeah. If the shooting comes along, the dribble drive is there, the floater's there as well. And he's making his teammates better. Let's not forget that as well. Jalen Brunson is doing his best shooting guard impression, combo guard, but the difference is he is an all-star. He is a point guard mind where he can find his teammates. Almighty, what's good? Salute. Shout out to the one, the only, J Boogie out here. To the chat, many blessings. Health, happiness to you as well. Tough loss, familiar face coming Tuesday. Detroit, I see you. Salute, salute, salute. J Boogie, stay doing your thing. Appreciate you for dropping Knicks Nation, that gem. The biggest. We're the biggest out here. No doubt about it, fam. We continue to be. Salute to that. Can't wait for the album, fam. Tariq up in here. Salute. Let's get it. I see them doing a Golden State style. Yep. With Steph Curry. That's what I'm thinking about, fam. Yep. I tweeted this out yesterday, actually. A Dallas Mavericks in shambles. Luka Doncic playing 42 plus minutes just to compete. Tim Hardaway Jr., Davis Bertans on 17 mil per for next 2 more years. On top of that, they've got him scoring 4 points in 17 minutes. Bertans DNP CD as well. Potential lottery pick going to the Knicks as well. We'll look at that at the road ahead, fam. But in evaluating this performance before we look ahead and give out some grades, yeah, facts. Yep, that join on replay all day, every day. Bam, yep. We're so blessed to have an MC like J Boogie up in this community. And so many wise fans up in here. Passion in the chat. Let's go. Right, this is what we feed off. This is what we do. We stick together. And we chop this thing up. Look at the road ahead for this team. But yeah, tonight, a lot of things a lot of different directions we could go. The story's got to be Jalen Brunson, moving ahead. I always said this season I'm going to look for silver linings, not in the wins, not in the losses. You got to look at what can we take from this season and move forward with as well. What can we grab and take for the future? And I guess the Jalen Brunson thing has been head and shoulders the best story. You could see, I guess, other players that might be looking at the Knicks situation. They could be saying, okay, they've got an established point guard. They've got something to move forward with. They've got a guy that's borderline all-star kind of thing. Any player around the league tuning in today's game at MSG, which was an absolute classic, they'll be looking at like, okay, that dude's leaving it all out there, man. I could play next to him. I could play next to JB because he's a throwback. He plays hurt and he leaves it all out there as well. So I respect that. And the fact is, other teams, other teammates will just love playing with him even more tonight. The best thing I liked about tonight's game was Julius Randle and RJ Barrett deferred to Jalen Brunson as well. No hijacking the offense down the stretch, right? It was JB's show as well. It hurts me that he came up short. He missed the floaters as well. I really wanted them to drop as well. We were all riding it on the edge of our seat. And if ever he deserves that to go down, this would have been a classic win for the Knicks and Boogie and Brunson. But it just wasn't to be. So we move forward. A better defensive performance. We saw Cam Reddish have a great impact coming back in. So that's something we continue to look at moving forward. Grimes and him shared the floor together. Mitchell Robinson back with a sore knee. Mitch is a warrior, plays through pain. And he was protecting the rim like his life depended on it down the stretch. It was a bit tough with a couple of those tough calls towards the end. Ja Morant's just such a tough cover. Because you know why? He can leap so high. He can draw fouls. He had the full arsenal tonight. Did Morant. It was a step back. That mid-range one hurt down the stretch too. We was trading buckets. And I just thought, okay, if we're going to win this game, the only way is to get a stop. Yep. We just needed to get a stop, fam, ladies and gentlemen, down the stretch. We got a couple, but just not enough. The biggest two that hurt was a brick, I think, from Dylan Brooks, went straight down the throat of Steven Adams, who gobbled up that offensive rebound and put it straight back in. That guy is a man mountain. Nobody can really move him under the bucket as much as Mitch could have tried. So that was pretty much helpless. The other one was, of course, the Ja Morant block from Mitch from behind. But what happened? The two Knicks players fell out of bounds, and the ball fell straight into Ja Morant's lap, where he put it straight back in. That was like a knife in the heart being twisted with that play, and that was the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, back and forth with a great team. And I always say this in terms of what we can expect from this team moving forward. They'll give you these efforts in these tough games. They'll rise up to try to win these games from pride. But it's the other games that we let slip, you know, against the Portlands, the OKCs, the lesser like teams where we start feeling ourselves as well. And it's a shame because I really feel like if the Knicks gave the same effort tonight against Portland, we beat Portland as well. Tonight was the game we chose to give max effort, and it was against such a great team that we just fell short. Yep. We just fell short, right? Yep. J Boog getting love from the chat. Nick Streets out here, yeah. Yep. We got Back on Christmas. J Boogie doing a little bit of work in the studio on that. Stay tuned. That's going to drop. That's going to be playing in Nick lounge rooms and living rooms all around the country and the world. Can't wait for that, fam. Let's get that up in the garden as well. I'll do my best to make that happen as well. Hopefully we get Bill Pito on the show again shortly to chop up where the Knicks are at. We can talk about some stuff. JJ says Brunson played great. Missed 2 clutch shots late, but we got to live with that. Good looks from our best player. Salute. Yep. On point, as always, JJ, as well. Great takes. And you got to live with that. Exactly, right? I mean, there's a million other ways we could have been frustrated. Let's say someone else got the last few shots. Like I said, we've seen over the last couple of years. You know, that's what gets Knicks fans frustrated. Tonight, the only frustration was the shot didn't fall. But it was in the hands of the right guy. So I salute everyone else for making that happen, whether it was Thibs, Randall, RJ, everybody deferring to the best offensive player on this team as well. Unfortunately, he was gassed. He was half hurt, injured, tired, and a lot of those shots lack a little bit of legs out of that, man. Man-child salute. And I don't want to be critical, but I would have loved the second last shot to not be that step back. The floater game's been money. I really feel like the second to last shot could have been the floater as well. He could have gone closer to the cup, maybe got fouled. He's good at drawing the fouls, but he got a little bit of separation and space, and he decided to pull up for that midi at the free throw line as well. Can't hate on that. It was a great look. It just didn't go down. But again, like I said, you know, over the years, we take it. We've had so many bad looks over the years as well. Almighty's on point too as well. Indiana Pacers, got to give them a shout out because they're absolutely buzzing in the East. And that's a glimpse into what you can get in the draft with that situation. Tyrese Halliburton and Ben doing their thing out there as well. That's what I love about the NBA. Things can just blow wide open when you draft young talent as well. He's a killer. Yep. JB said after the game, knowing how much they trust him, it hurts him when he comes up short for us. Yep, for us, like that. Gotta love everything he's about. Yep. Yep, facts. Playing through pain, just playing through everything, man. And the buckets he was hitting before, the misses, I mean, there was this a throwback. I mean, he was like on NBA Jam. He was on fire mode with that situation. So can't ask for anything really more than that. We just needed more horses, I think, and more guys to step up. Yep. David says tired of Jackson doing better than Randall. Yeah. he's deadly in that range, so I can handle those looks in clutch. Yep, like Dirty says, especially with a bit of separation. Yes, there was a hand in the face, but that second to last shot was still a great shot. I was just surprised because his momentum was carrying him towards the hoop, and usually he'd been scoring those floaters and layups as well as getting fouled. But that second to last one, he decided to pull back, and it was heavy, unfortunately. But like I said, those weren't even the missed shots weren't the reasons we lost. The offensive rebound, unlucky that Steven Adams gobbled up, and it was also the Morant second opportunity. I mean, you can live with missed shots, but you can't really live with giving the other team second three opportunities with that situation. There was a couple of crazy offensive rebounds that they pulled in, tip backs and stuff. Steven Adams is a monster up in there. But we tried, we gave max effort, we tried. So yeah, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, 2 games below 500 now. 9th overall selection in the standings, in the draft standings right now. In terms of the East standings, I think the Knicks are around 10 or 11. We should be thereabouts all season long with the play-in. If anything else, tonight teaches me that the Knicks can still win a hell of a lot of games with Brunson here. And I think for a lot of people that want to bottom out and get a great pick, it's a possibility, but the East is tough. But I just think Brunson and the players we've got are going to still win us 37, 38 games minimum. With that said, especially if Tom Thibodeau sticks around and the pressure that they're under, Leon Rose and that, they're going to continue to go for it. They're going to try to go for every single win as well. Maybe an injury or two can change some things up, but that's going to be something to watch, something to look for as well. I'm feeling more optimistic about the Dallas situation, I put that tweet out, went viral, about the Dallas selection currently giving us the 12th, 13th selection. I think it's currently the 11th selection right now. So that was a trigger warning that triggered Dallas fans that jumped in. And, I stick by that because I think they're in a tough spot, Dallas. They're paying a lot of salary to Tim Hardaway, Bertans, as good of players that Dinwiddie and what's his name, the big man, the stretch big man that they brought in, they're not good enough to really bring the Mavericks up there with Luka as well. He's going to get more tired. He's going to get worn down. So they're in a tough spot with that situation. The pick is top 10 protected. Do I see them falling into the top 10? Anything's possible, but I'm still optimistic it won't fall that low. I think it will be borderline 11, 12, 13, though, so it could get tricky down the stretch. And we'll be watching that with a keen eye. But yeah, an injury could change everything with that situation. So yeah, again, today was about the defense first and foremost. 123 points, that's enough to win you a ball game in the NBA. The Knicks struggled again. They were just unable to get key stops. The Dylan Brooks deep bucket was another backbreaker as well. RJ Barrett could have got a hand up, could have closed out better. We've talked about Tom Thibodeau's system and how much I hate it, but leaving shooters open, trying to clog the paint, as deadly as Ja Morant is, let him go one-on-one with Mitchell Robinson, right? Just don't leave the shooters. You can't afford that in this league. These threes are absolutely back-breaking for the New York Knicks. I can live with a contested layup, acrobatic, aerial, spinning 360 layup. If that goes in from Ja Morant, then so be it. But don't need to clog the paint so much. With that situation, I really feel like the Knicks just got to stick out on the shooters. We get killed with timely deep threes every single game, it seems like. they're momentum killers and backbreakers. Yep. With that situation. So let's look at this box score situation. Fam, we'll give out some grades, then we'll look at the road ahead with that. But yeah, appreciate everyone rocking with us. Hope you had a beautiful weekend with that situation. We're really getting into the thick of this NBA season, ladies and gentlemen. This New York Knicks season's going to be up, it's going to be down, but I'm looking for silver linings with this situation. We give Jalen Brunson his flowers first and foremost. We have to. With that, it's going to be an A+, so we'll just get that out of the way. But let's adore his stats. So 36 minutes with a tough quad injury, 8 of 20, 3 of 5 from 3, 11 of 12 from the line, money. Hits free throws under pressure as well. That's a leader. That's a guy that you feel comfortable with at the line, 100%. 5 rebounds, 9 assists as well. So, and a 30 piece on Morant. So 30 points, 9 assists, making his teammates better. 1 steal and just 2 turnovers for the 9 assists. So salute. Used up 5 fouls, -1 with that situation. So getting close to triple-double territory, double-double, close to as well. Can score, can assist, can make his teammates better, just does everything you need as well. There was a great post during the week on Twitter comparing Brunson's stats to Fred VanVleet stats last season, where Fred VanVleet was as well. Yeah, and Brunson surpassing that situation. Of course, Fred was an all-star with that situation. So again, small wins out of this season. Not looking at the wins and losses for the road ahead. But if Jalen Brunson becomes an all-star this season in his first year as a New York Knick, that's a thumbs up. All day, every day, getting into it. And it makes this situation just look that little bit more attractive, Okay, the Knicks have got an all-star already. Okay, who do we want to pair up with him? What young talent wants to come and join him as well? Yep, with that situation. Now moving ahead, I won't be surprised if Brunson needs a rest day for the next game, because coming in with a quad concern, putting in a performance like this, he's earned a rest. Not saying that we can afford to rest him, but you want to be careful. You absolutely want to be careful. If he's struggling, then just sit out. But knowing Tom Thibodeau, who knows? Who knows? But A+++ again. I think Jalen Brunson's got an A in more than 50% of his games this season as well. I mean, at this point, if he continues to put up nights like tonight, at this point he's getting underpaid, basically. Guys that put up this kind of stat line earn $30 million, right? Basically. Man-child, yeah, agree. It's going to be a lot of bumps and rides through this situation. Yep, we ride through it. Moving ahead. But yeah, we celebrate the wins within the games as well. We may not win every game, but we celebrate the wins within the games as well. And we certainly give out our tough grades to those that need to do better, with this situation. So after Brunson, A++, let's look at Julius Randle, 35 minutes, okay? So his minutes were kept down, 4 of 9, 1 of 5 from 3. So he's still shooting a lot of attempts. He was 5 of 6. Pulled in 10 rebounds, 9 assists, and 14 points as well. So yeah, this is the kind of floor game that I want to see more of from Randle. Less shots, so 9 attempts, that's fine. But 9 assists, 2 offensive rebounds, 10 rebounds total, -2, 14 points as well, deferring to JB, down the stretch, and recognizing who's the best player. I mean, that's a small win within the loss tonight. Defense was atrocious again. Yep, like Dirty says. Yep, on point. Absolutely. Typical D, what we get used to seeing from Randall. But the biggest thing for me is just recognizing who's the best player, not trying to hijack the offense. Manchild, 2 back-to-back games coming this week. Yep, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yep, absolutely going to be tough. With 2 games below 500 now. And we'll look at the road ahead, but I'll drop a hint. I do feel like some roster moves are going to come December, January kind of period as well. I think, we'll talk about it then, but I think this front office is definitely going to be feeling the pressure with that. So I'll give Randall a B- for tonight's performance. Defensively, he could always be better. But I just like the fact that he did defer down the stretch, let Brunson run the show. Ideally, I want to highlight the 3-point attempts from Randall as well. 5 attempts. Not a fan of Randall shooting that many threes. That's just not his strength. He can get hot. Maybe one out of every 5 games, like we saw in Minnesota. Randall can get hot from 3. Unless he's wide open, I just don't really like Randall shooting 5 attempts from the 3-point line as well. I know our spacing ain't good, and it's tough when teams are going zone on us, which is just horrific to see. We got to play to his strengths, and that's not shooting. David gives Randall an F. That's tough. That's tough for that one, but clearly not happy with his effort with that. So let's talk about Mitch now. 32 minutes, came back in the lineup, 6 of 7 from the field, efficient. 4 of 7 from the free throw line. 4 offensive rebounds, 7 total. 5 blocks, ladies and gentlemen. The blockness monster was gobbling it up and was a +2, 16 points. So Mitch Robb was the only starter tonight in the plus with 16 points. Big performance from Mitch tonight in his 32 minutes. That this matchup suits Mitch perfectly because we know how much Morant loves to charge to the hoop, get to the cup as well. He was deterring a lot of things out there as well. 5 blocks is insane. Shows his value on this team. Yep. Shows his value with this team as well. If the Knicks pulled this game out, Mitchell Robinson would have been a key contributor to winning this game tonight as well, especially playing on a sore knee as well. So Mitch gives it his all the time when he's out there as well. He does suffer these, unlucky different little injuries and this and that. And I know some fans are critical of the rest of his game. But what you're great at, you're great at. That's what the Knicks paid for. Make no mistake about it. The $15 million, whether you think he's overpaid or he got paid correctly, the Knicks paid Mitchell Robinson to do what he does, which is offensive rebound and block shots and rebound as well. If he's not on Steven Adams, I don't know how many rebounds Steven Adams had, but Steven Adams would have had 30 rebounds tonight if Mitchell Robinson wasn't on the floor as well. Because unless Jericho Sims was out there with that. But I'll give Mitchell Robinson a solid, I've got to give him an A- for his performance tonight. I mean, was decent from the line, efficient. 4 offensive rebounds and 5 blocks, and was a plus in the plus minus. Yep, with that. David gives Mitch a B with that situation. Yep, I could see that. Yep, Tarik's big Mitch fan. Let's get it. Great performance from Mitch tonight. Good bounce back. Let's hope he just continues to rock with us and be healthy, this season. They need to find him more on, under the bucket as well, so he can continue to throw it down, be efficient, make teams match up to us as well. Now, Mitch played 32 minutes as well, so yeah, that was a big performance from Mitch tonight. Huge, in bigger minutes as well. They didn't ease him in. So let's look at Bully Barrett now. 37 minutes. He was 9 of 17. 2 of 6 from 3. Hit both free throws. He was 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, -8 with 22 buckets. Was Star J tonight. Much better performance. Being nitpicky with RJ again, his concentration on defense lets us down. At times lets us down. But I felt like he let the game come to him. He played within his pocket. The thing I like with RJ's tonight was the kickouts, less tunnel vision, 4 assists for tonight. So let's see more of that. Let's hope RJ Barrett has heard the noise, heard the criticism as well. The tunnel vision's got to improve, and he's got to keep kicking it out. Yep. So next up, let's look at Q Dot. Right, 26 minutes. He was 2 of 7. 1 of 4 with that situation. 4 assists, 4 fouls, -9, 5 points as well. So in terms of Bully Barrett, let me give out, I think I missed Barrett's grade. So yeah, I'm going to give Barrett a B for tonight's performance, a solid B. Now, Quentin Grimes played heavier minutes, 26, struggling with the shot still, but the 4 assists as well. That's what I like to see. Wasn't as impactful defensively as I would have hoped, and we'll talk about Cam Reddish with that situation. But yeah, Quentin, the shot wasn't falling tonight, so we really need to hope and see Quentin Grimes hit those shots to make maximum impact, right? I'll give Quentin a C+ for tonight. Yep, a C+. Again, I love the fact that he finds the man. He's got great court vision, looks for his teammates, plays under control. All of those things you love to see Quentin Grimes do. Sometimes he just doesn't, he's not going to impact winning or losing. He's just going to do his thing with that, unless the shot's falling. With that. So that is a telling statistic too, that he's -9, Barrett -8, Brunson -1, and Randall -2. So all the starters got outplayed, basically, but marginally for some of them. And that just shows you how tough Memphis are, Yep, really, really tough from for playing a team like that, an MSG on the road, wherever. I mean, they're built to go far. Is the Memphis Grizzlies with that situation? Now we'll chop up the bench right tonight. Who stood up? It was Cam Reddish. He got 24 minutes, which was great to see. He was really disruptive tonight. So Cam's stats, he was 4 of 6, 1 of 2 from 3. He got 2 assists, a steal, +4, +4, 11 points in the plus minus. So salute Cam. We really needed his energy, his defense tonight. He took over trying to guard Ja down the stretch, and it was a tough matchup. I mean, the screen came, and Cam's a big guy, so, tough getting around those screens to to impact Jar. He tried, um, but he did make it disruptive throughout the game. He just didn't. He didn't really help us down the stretch with that situation. But few can stay in front of Jar, which is basically the tail of the tape. I mean, we had a star tonight in Brunson, but the Memphis Grizzlies had a superstar, basically. Star and then superstar go to the next level, you know? The superstar guarantees that you take the dub with that. And we threw everything at him, man. The kitchen sink, ladies and gentlemen. We threw bodies at him, left, right, and center. Cam, Mitch. It was just tough. Yeah, I agree too. Yep. I think Grimes is a role player and most likely will level at a role player, but if he was 6'7", there's potential, yeah. I think size with Grimes is a big factor in terms of impacting the game. Yeah, fam. With that. But yeah, it was a fascinating look tonight because we had Grimes and we had Cam healthy as well. The defense was reasonably solid. If I had to rate this game, I think this is one of the better games in terms of effort. Like I said, the loss just comes upon the shortcomings of the roster. It just is what it is. We don't have natural born shutdown wings and defenders tonight, and that's what you need to shut down Ja Morant. Especially when he gets the rub of the green. With these kind of foul calls as well. There's not a lot you can do. When Ja Morant's spinning, winning, spinning like a turnstile, vertically in the air, you can touch him and it's a foul call, basically. He gets the superstar calls. Yep. So Cam's performance tonight, he earns himself a B+ with that situation. I mean, in 24 minutes to get +4, 11 points, 2 assists, 50% from 3, and efficient from the floor as well. Yep. In his comeback game. Ladies and gentlemen, Derrick Rose played 12 minutes as well, come back healthier, but 3 of 7 from the field, missed 2 threes, didn't do much else. 6 points, -3. He quickly tried, 9 minutes, got injured, couldn't come back on with that situation. McBride got 1 minute. Hartenstein got outplayed in his 15 minutes, 4 points. Obi, a more solid performance tonight from Obi, 15 minutes, 50% from the field, 1 of 4 from 3, 3 rebounds, a block, and 9 points, which is that situation that rounds out the bench, for tonight. But it was basically their starters versus our starters back and forth. I mean, it was the middle of the game that cost the Knicks. We outscored them 25-26 in the first quarter. We outscored them 40-34 in the fourth as well. Unfortunately, we got outplayed in the second and third. They outscored us by 8 in the third as well. So we lost it in the third. We tried to win it in the fourth. Scoring 40 points in the fourth quarter should normally, net you a win, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, that was tough. That was tough. Margaret in the house, salute. I go full youth movement. Trade Randall, Fournier, Hart, and RJ. Cam should have taken the last shot with that situation. Do you feel like Brunson was gassed? That situation. The way Brunson had it going, I'm not mad at that. I really feel like he deserved to take the last shot. But then again, maybe the kick out. I've got to look at the footage, but maybe a dude was open. Yeah, in terms of that, I live with the shot. Yep. I agree with Tariq on this one, that Brunson, I trust him to take that last shot. It was close to the hoop. There was a lot of bodies on him as well. I respect that. But yeah, it was if anything, I feel like maybe he could have taken one more step closer to the bucket because he did get past Brandon Clark. I think maybe he would have got fouled. It was neck and neck, basically. I really did feel like he could have taken one more dribble, one more step, and then gone up with the floater. But what coulda, shoulda, woulda as well. So yeah, that's tough. Again, looking at silver linings, we're developing some of these young players. They're getting way more minutes than what we expected, ladies and gentlemen. Like, if we had looked early in the season in the 20th game and to see these players getting huge minutes, talking about Quentin Grimes, Cam Reddish as well. Obi's and Quickly's getting more minutes. So I can't be mad at that. Now, let's look at this road ahead, ladies and gentlemen, because yeah, we've got a lot to talk about moving forward with this team now and what's at stake. So as we know, we got back to back. We're at Detroit, then we got Milwaukee back at the Garden. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, back to backs. That's going to be super tough, especially on the road. You know, Detroit not taking them lightly whatsoever. Fam, you can't. Then Dallas at home, Cleveland and Atlanta, a 4-game stretch at MSG. You've got to split those if you want to stay around 500. You've got to split those. And then some easier ones at Charlotte, and then back at the Garden versus Sac as well. So you guys give me your predictions as well. I'll give you mine. Now, I feel like we beat Detroit. I feel like we beat Dallas. And I feel like we rise up, beat Atlanta for that. So I'm going to say we win 3 out of the next 5 up until Atlanta. And then the Charlotte Sac one, I expect us to try to win both. Split them at minimum as well. So what do we got? Yeah, out of the next 7, I say we go 4. 4 out of the next 7. With that situation, as tough as it is. Brunson, what's good? Salute. Thibs has got no situational offensive plays. Brunson got 2 great looks. It would have been nice to have a play called for Brunson to set someone up rolling to the bucket once he sucked in the D on the second attempt, right? Yep. I could feel that. Absolutely. Yep. I've been on point to say that, you know, Thibs needs to be more creative offensively as well. And not just him, the players have to react, right? This is on a player to dive to the cup as well and get open looks. We're very, very predictable. With that said, we can't be mad with tonight's looks. They were pretty good looks as well. Just tired legs as well. But man, did it hurt. I mean, we want to win these tough games as well. Yeah, Margaret, I agree. Jericho Sims has been playing really well. He could have gotten in more minutes tonight. He could have got a look as well, yep. Especially with Steve and Adams, big body, yep. I really feel like one of those 2 back-breaking plays was the Steve and Adams offensive rebound that came at a real critical stretch with that situation. And Mitch tried his hardest, but yeah, he's a load. Yep, Jericho could have done something there. Yep. JB, yeah, all day. I feel comfortable. The step back 3, that was cold. That was ice in his veins with that. Yep. I think Sims should play some minutes as well. I don't feel like he should be the starter, but he should play some minutes in my opinion with that. Yep. Yep. No reason Sims shouldn't be the backup from now on. Yep. Completely agree, right? If we are being real with the whole situation, Hartenstein gives you effort, heart, all of that. He's not a player that's been dogging it by any means, but he's not as tough as we need. Toughness on the glass. Screen setting as well. Now, Hartenstein was supposed to bring us playmaking, passing, submit a little bit of offense, but he's not even doing that right now. So, yeah, that's the reason Jericho should absolutely get in. Yep, man, that's funny. Yep, the rest of the expendables with that. Who knows? Maybe a team looking for a stretch big man, looking for some help. Um, yeah. So yeah, you guys got to give me your predictions out of these next seven, ladies and gentlemen. I've gone more optimistic and said 4 out of 7 out of the next seven. Um, Now, in terms of what to expect moving forward, in terms of trades and anything like that, I really feel like it's going to open up after these 7 games. We're going to know a hell of a lot more in terms of like who's performing, who's consistent, who's injured, all of those things. Evan Fournier, that name, you know, continues to be the logical thing in terms of a team looking for a shooter. Um, Again, he's well and truly out of here. DNPing again. Not even a night like tonight where we needed shooting. Nothing. So Thibs has made up his mind. He's gone straight Kemba Walker on Evan with that situation. So I'm not surprised at all. Dirty sees 3 wins there, considering we own Dallas, but I wouldn't bet much on it. The thing about this team, right? They let us down when there's more winnable games, but I really feel like when their backs against the wall, like we saw on the road, they can buckle down. Um, they know it's go time in terms of this stretch. We're 2 games below 500 as well. I expect them to go to Detroit with a must-win mentality to try to win that one. The Milwaukee one, maybe we catch a break, maybe we don't. That you'd say that's a loss. Like you said, Dallas, that is a game where we've had the edge on Dallas, and especially how tired Luke is doing at the moment. Maybe he even sits that one out. I tell you what, that Cleveland one's going to be spicy. Donovan Mitchell's return to MSG, that's going to be absolutely buzzing, ladies and gentlemen. Streets is buzzing with that. Donovan Mitchell coming in to MSG, the media, the social, that's going to eat that up with that situation, especially if Cleveland's still doing really well or on top at that point. But I tell you what, the Atlanta one I'd really want to get as well. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray acting a fool up in here. We need to protect home court against some of these teams in the East if we're to have a chance with that. So, yeah, talk about backs to the wall. This team normally buckles down like tonight. You could see the effort was there. They tried to win. It was the talent deficiency from tonight. Thibs tried to push all the right buttons. It just didn't fall. That last few shots as well. But I tell you what, we will know what this team is made of after these next 7 games. I mean, Sacramento's playing really well at the moment. Charlotte's going straight downhill as well. So if we don't win the Charlotte one, it's curtains, I feel like, for us. Margaret, I can see Cam back in the starting lineup. Yep. I could see that too. Maybe they'll trial both of them. They'll see what works with the matchups as well. I really feel like injuries are going to continue to be a thing this season as well. Maybe Grimes gets in and out a little bit, or Cam as well. Yep. I think Thibs will get fired if the Knicks don't make the playoffs. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Spot on. I think off-season is the most likely situation. Mid-season, there's a good chance, maybe by December, end of December, Thibs gets let go. But I really think that the record is going to have to be really bad for Thibs to get let go. I'm talking 6, 7, 8 games below 500 for that to happen. Best believe Leon's going to give him every possible chance. I really feel like. Tariq likes Grimes' skills over Cam, but Cam's height covers for his lack of skills as well. Yep. Yeah, great points. You guys are on fire up in here as well. And that's the story of the Knicks roster. It's like we hope we could mix a little bit of everyone into into different players. Evan Fournier shooting. I mean, if we could mix Evan Fournier shooting into Cam Reddish's body, we would have our starting wing for the future. If we could mix Quentin Grimes's skill set into Cam Reddish, we would probably have the wing of the future as well, with size, all of that. Yeah, that would be wise. I think Charlotte should be real with themselves and go all in, right? What do we hear? We hear Gordon Hayward out of here as well, needing surgery perhaps as well. LaMelo Ball in and out of the MASH unit as well, right? It's about time Charlotte be real with itself, that because they're closer to the lottery than the Knicks are, to the top lottery. I mean, yeah, this season's gonna be absolutely fascinating, buzzing out there. I mean, we're gonna do a show and we're just gonna look at the East and we're gonna look at the West, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do that soon, and the West is at wild, wild west right now. The LA Lakers, Golden State Warriors, not even in the play-in picture. That's how hard it's gonna be for Dallas, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, Cam got skills, absolutely, as well. Let's not forget that he's still developing as well. He hasn't had a chance to have consistent minutes, consistent stretch to to get better. But he is developing under us. We're doing better job than Atlanta did. Developing Cam. Sherwin up in here, salute. RJ now on my list of players that I want out of here. RJ, Obi, Hart, IQ, and picks for a star. Leon got his work cut out right now. He's talking to teams, believe that, but I don't know if he's talking to them about those guys. Maybe Fournier as well. For those that hope Julius Randle gets traded, I really hope it happens too, but I don't think it's likely this season. I think it's more on the unlikely side this season. I think they ride him out for a full season and then see what it looks like. Yeah, Dun Ross, salute. How you doing? I'm just a fan of Brunson and Mitch. I'm just not a fan of RJ anymore. He disappoints me. Knicks still played a good game. Yep, absolutely played a great game today. Fell short. I'm a fan of Brunson and Mitch. I'm still a fan of RJ. Yeah, I understand he frustrates you. He frustrates you, basically. Where we're at with RJ right now, it's basically up to him and it's up to the coach to develop. The film's there. Study it. You can improve mentally with this game. It ain't just about ability. It's about heart and it's also about mental. With RJ, right? He didn't just forget how to play. He needs to rid of these bad habits, like ASAP as well. Open up his game, become a playmaker, even if he wants to. Forget about being a volume scorer, focus on playmaking. All of that. The rest will come. Sherwin says, I'd love to see Fournier off the team. Don't we all, I think, as well. But he will have to give up picks to trade him. Possibly this season is his second to last before the contract. Maybe teams are looking for a 1 year go, 1 year look for a shooter. But one thing's for sure, we won't get anything good back. That's for sure. If we trade Fournier, it'll be us accepting back a player of equal skill. I think another situational guy, maybe with 1 year less on his salary, we could hope. Yep. Yeah, Margaret says Randall as well. Yeah. He's the domino with this situation. That's a great point because as we head towards this trade deadline, Leon Rose only got so much but time The time's running out with Obi and Randall, in my opinion. We can't continue to carry both of them for longer than this situation with Obi's contract situation, right? So Leon Rose, make up your mind with that situation. Now let's look at Tankathon, ladies and gentlemen, just to see where things sit as well. Just to see where things sit. So, okay, that's interesting, ladies and gentlemen. That's not so great. So, that's going to get some buzz, right? So the New York Knicks current own selection in the 9th, right? Guess who's in the 10th selection right now? The Dallas Mavericks. So the Dallas Mavericks are sneaking in to the 10th spot with their pick top 10 protected. That's crazy. So currently, Dallas's selection was owned by the Knicks, is now going to sit with the Dallas Mavericks because they're in 10th. They lost tonight, so that's insane. Now the 15th selection, Washington, is still sending that to the New York Knicks as well. Now I know what the chat's talking about earlier in the show as well. If Dallas continue to lose, they'll stay under 10 and they'll keep their pick. They need to win some games. Ladies and gentlemen, Dallas Mavericks need to start winning some games. Otherwise, they will keep their pick. Now, I will pull up the standings as well, just to see where everything sits right now in the West, the wild, wild West. Okay, so with tonight's loss, the Dallas Mavericks go 9-10. They're currently 11th in the West. So they're only better than the Thunder, the Lakers, Spurs, and Rockets with that situation. And they're half a game from the T-Wolves, and a full win from the Warriors as well. So look, the West is still bunched up. Definitely really, really bunched up. So it's very, very early with this situation, but it bears watching because they're trying their hardest to win games, Dallas, and I don't really see them getting better than the Wolves, Warriors, Jazz, Blazers, Kings. It's the wild, wild West up in here, ladies and gentlemen. It's tough. Yep. With that situation. So let's shout out some other comments that have come through. Yep. No one is due for more lottery luck than us, right? Dirty, on point. Yep. Facts, right? And a lot of teams create their own luck too. It's tough because we can't have it both ways. We signed Brunson, and he's winning us some games. My biggest silver lining is how deep, this draft is. We'll be doing plenty of draft content this season, or probably much earlier than we normally do as well. We'll be having guests on to talk about it and everything. But from everything I've seen and heard, this draft is twice as stacked as last year's draft, maybe more. So you could compare the two. So let's say a pick like Benedict Mathurin, right? I think he went 6 or 7. He's balling out. So in this year's draft, a talent like Benedict Mathurin would be able to be had in 12th, 13th range, maybe even deeper. So yeah, it's an incredibly deep draft, ladies and gentlemen, with this. But yeah, I agree. We're absolutely due for that luck. Yep. Tariq says Randall, RJ cannot coexist long term. They are both too similar, and you always keep the younger player. Yep. Yep. Facts. Yep. I completely agree. Yep. With that said, and also I think it would work out perfect for other teams, because other teams that are looking to compete would probably prefer a Julius Randle right now to compete. So that could work out. I think the Miami Heat's one to look at, and I think the Phoenix Suns is one to look at. Randall forgot about the players only meeting he orchestrated. Margaret, yep. I knew that was nice at the time, but I knew like a team can't rely on a team meeting to get juiced up, every single night. It's just not going to happen. It's premature um, with that. Your front office has to make up their mind, done Ross, absolutely, in terms of what they're doing. They're in between right now. Yep. And we don't need big moves. We don't need wholesale changes. We just need a couple of sheddings of some contracts to clear things up, to make more sense with that. And then we just rock out and see how many wins we get. Players develop more, and we see what pick we end up with. Yep. I'm glad the Knicks have their own pick, Margaret. Absolutely, me too. That's been the best thing this front office has done. Really accumulate the picks. Now, what do they do with them? Do they trade for a big star and they get their man, or do they finally draft some talent and wisely use them? Yet Dirty Dancer, the Lakers are on the rise, so play in is not guaranteed by any measure for the Mavs. Yep. Absolutely facts. Yep. Yeah, and Tariq wants size in the draft. No little guys, no dudes under 6'8". With that, yep. One thing I really want is dudes with toughness, right? Look at a dude, as much as I despise them, look at a dude like Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bain, right? Benedict Mathurin. You can't tell me dudes like that with that kind of dog in them in New York City, that would be the perfect complement to this roster that's lacking a bit of toughness as well. Dudes that just don't take no for an answer. They don't take an L. They don't back down. They get in your face, whatever it is. Whatever you give them, they give it back tenfold as well. We're missing a dude like that on this team, right? An enforcer, a skill set, right? It's tough on this team because we could question some players' desire, but RJ, Randall, Cam, everyone just looks content out there on the court. There's smiles, there's plain face, there's all of that. I'm just not seeing players out there that hurt when they lose. It's got to hurt them deep down. They've got to hate to lose, I think. That's what fueled Kobe Bryant. That's what fuels these superstars, to be honest with you. Giannis, all these players, they don't all say it. They don't all come out and say it, bluntly in a press conference. But what makes these players special is that they hate losing. Right? They refuse to lose, basically. So yeah, we'll get ready to wrap this thing up in a minute. But yeah, it's been a great show to chop this thing up, this loss. Yeah, we're definitely getting into the thick of this season, right? Well and truly, the honeymoon period's finished now. We've had a big sample size to see what this team looks like this season. Players have been in and out. There's been some pleasant surprises with just how many young players that we thought were situational were getting minutes now. Derrick Rose, limited role. Evan Fournier, DNPing now as well. We're getting closer to the future, I think, of this team, so to speak. We're getting closer to the future and what's next. What's the next domino to fall? What's the next piece? Maybe a trade addition by subtraction for this season. We just continue to rock out, wait for draft night, see if that big star is available with the picks. We just continue to rock out and try to make the play in with who we've got right now. Who knows? But one thing that's been a trend is that Leon Rose usually makes a trade before a trade period. He did it with Rose, and he did it with Cam as well. He did these trades earlier with that situation. So yeah, we wait to see what happens with that. David says we have 2 picks first round. We always play safe in the draft. Yeah, I hope those days are finished. We need to swing. We need to swing for the fence with big talent. But what has me juiced up, like I said, there'll be heaps of draft content, But yeah, this draft is absolutely generational. Um, deep draft, you know, stacked. The best draft in decades, basically. Enough said. There's going to be all-star type talent all the way into the lottery, all the way to the 15th plus pick as well. So we got a hit on that. Yep. Knicks need to draft generational talent. Yep. Or we need to surround Brunson, who's a piece for the future, with shooters as well. Solid wing playmakers as well. Hope that dude can turn out to be a star. Yep. You know, heaps of stars have been found later in the draft as well. We pay these scouts big bucks to make it happen, right? Just so we can get it, ladies and gentlemen, up in here. But yeah, salute chat. Let's get it. It's been a great show. Streets is still buzzing. Pop that like button with this situation. Tough loss, MSG. You don't really want to lose these games. But yeah, we do have the silver lining is we have flexibility moving forward. That's what this front office continues to fall back on. Flexibility. You know, we could do this, we could do that. I really do feel like some of these contracts can be moved. Julius Randle's play is a lot better than what it was last season. You know, it's not going to be easy, but he can be moved, definitely. With that situation, the picks as well. Maybe Fournier's contract is that one that's maybe tough to move, but that expires next season, so I'm not too worried about Fournier. You know, we have Grimes and Cam earning peanuts as well that can fill into that spot. Where Fournier's contract really hurts you is if you don't have a replacement. You know, all that money's been spent, but the Knicks do have replacements for him on cheap contracts, thankfully, as well, which is why we can afford to DNP him. You know, with that situation. So yeah, we'll talk about it on the next one. Back to back, Tuesday, Wednesday night. Let's go into Detroit, right? We're basically up to that must-win situation now, and we need to pick that one up. Milwaukee, Dallas, Cleveland, Atlanta. That's going to be a tough stretch where we really see where we're at. But I really feel like we can match up well against Dallas, and we usually match up well against Atlanta as well. So I'm confident we could go 500 over these next 6 games or so. But where's that going to have us? That's still got us 2 games below 500 around that play-in situation. So we need to develop our rotation consistently. Players need to start performing consistently if we're going to get to that 45 win, projection that I had. But another big story from tonight, Dallas struggling with another loss. They move into the top 10 in the lottery as well, which means their pick goes back to them as well. It's early days. It's gonna be back and forth, I think, but it bears watching as well because of how strong the West is right now as well. So that's going to be absolutely crazy to see. But yeah, the streets is buzzing. Appreciate you all. Best chat in the biz. Stay blessed. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go get it next week. And we'll be back. We'll see you soon. Peace.